Hi there. I should probably turn that down, right? But, you know, it's Metal Monday. I have no idea who this is. Some band called Wellness. Tommy Lundberg. Rocking out. Okay, enough of that. How you doing? It's Monday. I'm back. I made it through the weekend. Although, you know, at this age, partying too much on your birthday isn't necessarily a thing. Although I'm gonna have a couple cocktails with Lady Boomer tonight at our favorite watering hole, and you know, another year older, you know. But yeah, it's my birthday. First of all, though, I don't know why this didn't show up, but thank you, Tazzy, and I don't know why it stopped popping back up, who dropped a bomb in the tip jar, woo, over the weekend, and I just thought I'd acknowledge it. Yeah, that's it says, hey, P-Dog, congrats on 800 shows, and thanks for the many hours of news, views, and fun along the way. I believe it's your birthday today, so have a great day, and please enjoy a beer or two on me. Cheers, mate, and all the best. Tazzy's one of our more prolific watchers of the replay, and often comments in the comment section. Doesn't get to see the show live that often, but always has a nice thought to give here and there. And that was a beautiful, wonderful, wonderful birthday donation. Even though well, look, I'm going to give, as soon as my little tablet here turns on, which wasn't on. I don't know why it wasn't on, but every time if I leave it off maybe it's because, I'm just talking in circles now. Give me a second. Because this is technically one from yesterday, because Tazzy's in the down in Australia. He's in Australia, so his yesterday, or his today was yesterday. The day that he said your birthday's today, but now he's getting close to it's probably tomorrow in Australia already, but that's okay because it's today here, and I have no idea what I'm trying to say. But Tazzy, I just got to tell you. Give me a second. For Sunday, our Sunday, but your Monday, Tazzy, you are the fuck.
You are
the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much, Tazzy. I appreciate you. And whoops, what the hell? Where's the bell? This thing's working really slow. Anyway, good morning. And it's the birthday show, and I'm gonna just go through some random stuff because I didn't put a whole lot of stuff in the hopper. Although I have some education stories today. We're gonna be educating, but there's a few others that I just gotta laugh at. I did make a new short video this weekend that I put on the Proverbs for the current year because Ty reminded me that I hadn't been making any. So one of them came up, and we'll go through that story, and we'll talk about some education shit, and just the thing. And then this afternoon I'm gonna have an open mic birthday show. Part 2 of the show today will be sometime this afternoon when I get back from renewing my driver's license and all that kind of stuff. So that's what the show's gonna be about. So sit back, relax. Here's the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. All right, and stop the music. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is April 4th, 2022. Another day older, another day wiser, at least a couple Budweisers. I don't know. Anyway, I am so happy that you're here, and I'm so happy that I woke up this morning. Every day you wake up when you get this age, you're just happy you woke up and you got to keep moving and all that stuff. So I'm happy to see you again. Thank you, Tazzy, for the big 50, man. Who's on the 50? I can't even remember who's on the, is that a Grant? No, Grant's a Hunter, right? Who's on the $50? Who is on the $50 bill? There we go. That would be, oh, yes, it is Ulysses S. Grant. Right? Is that right? Yeah, it's a great, it dropped a Grant in the tip jar. Dang, that's amazing. So anyway, thank you very much, Tazzy, again. Also, I don't know, on in the stream on Tuesday, or excuse me, Tuesday. What am I talking about? The stream on Saturday when we did our trail stop stream. I'm not 100% sure that I acknowledged Snoopy for this 20 from the tip jar. That was fantastic too. Happy birthday a little early in case I missed the Monday stream. Aries Kids Unite, hell yeah. Wait, what? Why is this not working? All right, this thing's pissing me off. There's the bell. There's the clapping. In fact, we got that was, there we go. Oh, yes, it is the birthday stream, and it is, wow, that's really loud. It is epic. All right, so anyway, so I hope you all are having a wonderful morning. I am. I got the coffee going, and today I have it's the Camellia Grill in New Orleans, Louisiana, a nice little breakfast spot Lady Boomer and I found. We went down there on it was our 25th anniversary, 4 years ago, something like that. And it was a nice little breakfast spot. It had some really good cheese grits and just some egg. I think I just had eggs, bacon, and cheese grits, and they had these they had beignets, and we had some of those, and it was some good stuff, man. I loved New Orleans. Man, that is the greatest food experience ever. I mean, and what it was, I don't think we went to any restaurants on Bourbon Street. There was one around the corner. We went to the seafood place that was really good. But I have a friend who lives down in New Orleans, went to college with, and he basically, he gave me a list of just all these little spots he goes to while he was in New Orleans. Went to all these little out-of-the-way spots, restaurants all over the different parts of town. One was up north of Lake Pontchartrain. Is that how you said it? Pontchartrain? Something like that. And somewhere, just random areas of New Orleans that most people just don't go. They're just local restaurants. And oh my God. And some were just little hole in the walls. One, so we went to one place he said this, we're going to go one place for po' boys, right? Po' boy sandwiches. My God, they have the best bread in these. They was lined up around the corner for this place. Luckily we got there a little bit early. He said, go early, because if you don't, there's going to be a line around the corner. I'm like, okay, we're going to listen to Mario, because Mario knows what he's talking about. And so we got there, about 10 minutes before it opened, and walked, and the doors were open, so they let us sit and stuff. And literally within 10 minutes, the place was full. There was a line around the corner because they do a lot of carry out. And it was a place that during the hurricane, which hurricane was that? Whatever hurricane that was down there, that the New Orleans pretty much all flooded. That restaurant was underwater during the hurricane. They had water levels up near the ceiling, signs where this was the water level. But we went there, and it was no, it's not belated, Maddie. It's today. Today's my birthday. Anyway, and oh my God, the sandwich was so good. Then we went to this other place. It was just like, it looked like a random house in some neighborhood, but it had a sign on it for a restaurant. And we went in there, and it had a big old restaurant. It was a 2-story restaurant. They had a bar upstairs. They had just seating downstairs. Man, they had the best damn food I ever had. I had the best. What did they have? I had something. It was like whatever this breakfast was, and then you could order crab cakes, and they had these little mini crab cakes, and they just lined the whole plate with crab cakes. But they had, oh my God, it was so good. It was a trip. Anyway, my mouth's watering because I'm thinking about the food in New Orleans. Anyway, our 30th anniversary, though, we're going to Hawaii. We decided we're going to go to Hawaii for our 30th, which is next year. And I have a friend in Hawaii too that I'm going to ask the same thing, because now the best way to, if you travel, if you go somewhere, figure out if you know someone there, and they will tell you the best places to eat, because that's what we usually do when we travel. So anyway, I am. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, by the way. In fact, let's real quick. Let's do a little do the normal thing that I do here, and we'll say good morning to everybody, and then we're going to get into some news. Like I said, I didn't look at a whole bunch of stuff, but we'll see what's happening in the world. And I've got a few education stories and a couple stories I got to talk about. One was the one that I did my little short video about in the what do you call it? The oh my God, what is it? The Proverbs for the current year. We'll talk about that. So anyway, now is this right? Did I get this right? No, this is wrong. What's wrong? Okay, I'm going to do this correctly, because for over here it says the wrong person. Anyway, first in the chat today was our friend Tyre Alexander, who gets the bell. And thank you for being here, Tyre Alexander. Also, good morning to... Why is this all messed up? This should be right, and it's not. Okay, I'll just use this side. Also, good morning to Select the Boy... Yeah, okay, that's working. Rotten Corpse was happening. Also, good morning to Mike Savage. And, oh, here we go. Is this caught up? No, it's not. This is weird. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, Mike Savage, good morning. Also, James, Blarg. Good morning, James Colley. Happy birthday on this day. Think how far technology has advanced in your lifetime, not to make you feel old, just to make you go, wow. You know, it's funny, because I got a birthday card it said something about, if you remember, like the vinyl records, yeah, and if you remember, what was the other one? There was three things. Well, one of them was vinyl records. The third one was calculators, like hand calculators, and I laughed because when I was a kid, like in grade school, little pocket calculators were like the new thing. They were all the rage. Now, I mean, I'm sure they'd been invented before, but you know, that now you could put a calculator in your pocket and do stuff. I was like, you know, that was a big deal. Now, I'm sure they had them before the 70s, but that's when they became the rage, was the little pocket calculators. And then I remember, because I was using I had a TI-30 when I first got into high school, Texas Instrument TI-30. And then you had to, but for physics, I can't remember if it was a TI-65 or something like that, but you had to buy a calculator for physics that you could do more physics functions. And that thing, everything on those, when you use that one, you had to like put in your formula and then enter, and then it was just a pain in the ass. But yeah, so calculators were kind of a big thing when I was a kid and getting into high school. Now I don't even know. You know, every phone has you can put a scientific calculator on your phone, which I used to use when I was doing finance stuff. I had a calculator that could do more functions than just, you know, add, subtract, so on and so forth. So I thought that was cool. And now, and, you know, and I think about what my kids use, like my son's, you know, computer scientist, computer engineer, software engineer, and all the different things he can do on his phone. He can program all this shit himself and this and that. So pretty cool. Anyway, moving on. Let's good morning to T-Ball. I think I got this caught up. There we go. There. Now that's right. All right. Good. Also, good morning to T-Balls. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Peter. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Also, good morning, Somnable Nation, with another happy birthday. Thank you. Also, good morning, D.I. Freighter Watcher. Let's see. Scrolling now. Simic Magic. Hello. Good morning, Renee Mayette, with the party accoutrements on her on her tweet there, or chat there. Also, good morning, Straight Sith Male. Thank you. Oh yeah, it's Straight Sith Male's birthday too. We have the same birthday. And also, good morning to Teresa the Kid. Zablaze in the house. Also, good morning to let's see, who am I missing here? I got T-Ball, got Straight Sith Male. Avocados Diablo's here. Thank you. Who says morning? Happy solar orbit completion day to you. That's what. Yeah, it's our orbit completion day. Also, good morning to. Let's see, who am I missing here? Have I got it? Oh, Data Wastelands in the house. Also, good morning to, I got three. Did I already say Maddie? Oh no, Maddie said happy belated birthday, but no, it's today. You got me on the day that is the day. And also Anna Lynn, Jedi Ghost Bear, Sydney, how you doing? Where you been? It's nice to have you back, Sydney. Missed you. Also, good morning. Let's see, Septus Wolf, H.P. Lovecraft, and Black Hebrew Israelite. Who knows that
That's right.
I'm pushing 60. Anyway, if I missed you, I'll try to catch up, but you know how it goes. All right, let's get it started because now what was it here? We've been talking a lot about the. We'll get caught up on war stuff later. Let's move the Ukraine stuff over there. All right, and by the way, quick few thank yous here. Thank you, Tyler F. Scribe Light, Somnambule Nation, Renee Mayette, and Necrosaw Collins. Wow, that's we're going. Oh, John Arnott's in the house too. Good morning. Yeah, 8008 spells boob. Yes, it does. Thank you for retweeting the show and your birthday wishes on the Twitter place over there. And apparently Senate committee convenes to discuss Ketanji Brown Jackson's pre-Corman nomination. Oh, that's today too. Well, let's do the stuff that's news now. We'll go through the Explore tab, then we'll get into what I want to talk about. So on Twitter right now, the prevailing news topics: Senate committee convenes to discuss Ketanji Brown Jackson's Supreme Court nomination, as opposed to Jackson Brown running low. On Monday, members of the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee meet to discuss Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination to the United States Supreme Court per Politico. A full day of debate over the nominee is expected. This meeting comes after the committee's 4-day hearings that touched on Jackson's career and education, judicial approach, potential recusals if she's confirmed, family life, and more. The committee will then hold a vote on her nomination and send its recommendation to the full Senate for consideration. Now that's fascinating. That is fascinating. Now, note their assumption there. This is Twitter or Political assumption, and we're not going to watch any of that right now. But their assumption is that it is going to move forward. Of course, we know it's going to move forward to the full Senate, but it's just an interesting assumption that they say instead of saying they will vote to consider sending it on. But anyway, according to the Congressional Research Service, the Senate rules allow Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to file a motion to discharge and move Jackson's nomination for consideration before the full Senate in the event of a deadlock committee recommendation, according to ABC News and LA Times. So if you're watching that, they've got lots to say about it. If you want to look for that, that's up to you. This is not going to be a big topic for me today. Well, it's not going to be a topic at all. I'm just putting it out there. Also, what else is happening what else is happening here? Zelensky pleas for tougher Russian sanctions. I am going to pull this over here. Let me put this back because something interesting happened last night at the Grammys. Zelensky was addressed the Grammy Awards. Now, I didn't even know the Grammy Awards were last night until I saw some information this morning. But anyway, Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky on Monday visited the town of Bucha, a suburb northwest of Kyiv, after the discovery of mass graves following the withdrawal of Russian forces, AFP reports. Ukrainian officials have asked the International Criminal Court investigate the evidence of possible Russian war crimes there. Germany said it is not possible to cut off the Russian gas supply, as its finance minister said. We need some time, according to AFP. Meanwhile, the U.S. ambassador to the UN is expected to call for Russia to be suspended from the Human Rights Council, CNN reports. Well, I can see that. I can understand that. Makes sense. And then the timeline contains live whatever. So apparently, so the claim now is that there is this massive killing of civilians in the town of Bucha. Any news coming out of this right now, even this, which has people very upset. You got to do a 5-day rule on everything coming out of this particular war, because we know that the ghost of Kiev, right? Remember the ghost of Kiev? Well, that turned out to be bullshit. Then we had the island patriots of Ukraine, who told the Russian warship to go F themselves, and that turned out to be not to be true. And then we had the what was that other one? The hospital, the maternity hospital that was supposedly shot with a missile. That turned out not to be true. And we're still trying to figure out if the theater thing, at first they said there was no casualties, and then now they're saying there's 300 dead there. We don't know if that's true, because there's no evidence that that happened. So I'm waiting too. It may very well have happened, but there was a video of them driving down this street, and I wish I had it handy. I don't have it handy, but there's a video of them driving down this street, right? And saying that the Russians came and then they're just killing all these civilians, this and that, whatever. But what was weird about the video, let me pull this off the screen for a second. What's weird about this video, right? So they have this video where they're saying that the Russians killed all these people, and I'm sure they have. It's a war, and it's not pretty. Wars are awful, and the Russians suck, and they shouldn't be doing this bullshit anyway. However, you got to decide which is the fact. Okay, the courageous Ukrainian fighters are fighting off the Russians. They're winning, this and that, or the Russians are killing everybody. And they have this video of them driving down the street, and it's like they're driving down the street, and all the bodies that they're showing of dead people are just neatly, like, one on this side of the road as you drive down it, and then there's one on this side as you drive down the road, and there's one on this side as you drive down the road, but they're like all off to the side of the road, like they were placed there or something. And it's supposed to be showing an atrocity, which war is an atrocity in itself. No, war sucks, okay? But just the way it's laid out, it's almost like they've set this up for you to see it the way they want you to see it. And so I'm very, and after all the other stuff that they've come up with that hasn't necessarily been true, or they fudged it, or they made it this and that, I'm like, in a war that I don't have a dog in. I can't, F the Russians, and I'm not thrilled about the very corrupt Ukrainians either. They're two sides of the same coin in my book. I don't know, but as you look through, and you go on Twitter, and I thank you. I'll get to these in a second. As you look on Twitter, the way they report it. So here's the New York Times. President Vladimir Zelensky visited Bucha, where emergency workers were still gathering bodies of civilian victims from streets and backyards after Russian troops withdrew, Ukrainian news media reported. Now, what was Ukraine doing just prior to these invasions, as far as citizens go? Well, they were arming all these citizens, right? And they were having them, and so I'm not saying that this is right. I think it's wrong that the Russians are in there killing, attacking this country. But were these people, the civilian victims, armed and shooting at them too? I don't know. NBC, President Zelensky looks as he stands with Ukrainian servicemen in Bucha on Monday. EU to send investigation teams to Ukraine to document war crimes together with Ukrainian prosecutors. Zelensky? Okay, let's do the ABC thread here. We'll start here. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky walks with Ukrainian servicemen during a visit to Bucha, outside of Kyiv, Ukraine, following graphic images of casualties coming out of the area. The images of people driving through, showing the bodies very symmetrically put on each side of the road as you drive down the road. Strange. More, Zelensky repeated accusations that Russia committed war crimes and genocide. genocide. I'm confused with the terminology because genocide of what? Of all Ukrainian people? I don't know. I'm not sure what he means. But anyway, after Ukrainian officials said 410 people believed to have been civilians were found dead, many with their hands bound behind their backs and shot at close range. Okay? That's messed up. That's messed up if true. Russian officials have denied accusations and have requested the UN Security Council investigate. Okay. Interesting that they're the ones requesting the US Security Council investigate. But then we get into some of the replies on this. So I go scroll down. Quote, accusations and question mark? Do better, ABC. We have seen what happened. We all know who ordered it. You need to say it out loud. There is no both sides on this. The GOP needs to what? What's the FU? You need to help open doors. The GOP, most of the GOP's on board with the propaganda. Most of the GOP are itching to get in the fight. There's a handful of people who are like, whose war? Whose war? The GOP? What the fuck are you talking about? There are people who don't want to be a part of the war, and there's on the left and the right. Although you call them Putin puppets. Let's see. How about we release all the drone footage of the area so we can build a timeline on what happened where? What drone footage? And don't claim it would put lives in danger. We need to know who did this without any doubt. Stop saying it happened to prove it with video, not fake investigation. Release it. Someone else. His thugs were rounding up civilians who wanted to leave the city. Whose thugs? And Ukraine has also committed countless war crimes. Why hasn't the mainstream media reported Ukraine's chief military doctor ordering the castration of all Russian POWs? Yeah, that's a good question too, I think. But we don't know about that either. Again, these are two countries that spent the entire 1900s propagandizing nonstop. How do you know? How do you know? You don't. So I guess I do, because remember remember that chemical attack in Syria that turned out to not be a chemical attack in Syria? Yeah, that was some propaganda. Almost got us into a war. And I'm telling you, they were saying, oh, the GOP, oh, the Russians, they're owned by the Russians. There's plenty in the GOP who are ready to send troops and get ourselves involved more. Oh, get off my phone there. Anyway, so I have no dog in this fight. All right, let's get back into the real quick. Thank you, Cryptic, who gets a bell. And Cryptic, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, who says, Happy Vaginal Discharge Day. You know, that could have been worded a little better. I don't know. Anyway, you came out wrinkled, and at your age, I hope you wrinkle a little less. Well, I'm part of that black don't crack crowd. But anyway, thank you again, Cryptic. I appreciate you for sponsoring the show. Also, thank you to John Ardot, who gave me one of those little funny-looking pear things, and appreciate you sponsoring the show too through YouTube Super Chats. If you want to sponsor the show, there's a link to Streamlabs somewhere in the chat there. And it's also, you can go to pdognight.live, open a second window, or just open that window and you can watch the show, chat, and do your birthday alms. By the way, good morning, Zombie Teddy. Nice to see you. And Moon, what's up? Moon, I used your artwork. I had it on Twitter. I don't know if you, Moon, I don't even know where you are on Twitter, but I put it on Twitter. I changed that for people to go back and watch the replay. I used your artwork. Moon did some. In fact, let me show you Moon's artwork here, because this is very cool, and I think I still have it pinned to my profile here. So just a second here. I will show you Moon's lovely artwork of the show from Friday. I hope y'all enjoyed the show Friday too, with Ruan Leon and Christian Watson. That was fun show. Here's some artwork by our friend Moon, our new friend Moon. And there goes oh, wait a minute. I got to do this again because I found out that when this happens on your Twitter feed, okay, back here, let me go to profile. Watch what happens. You get balloons, and then some of them stick to the top. Oh, they don't stick to the top here. On your phone, they stick to the top, and you can pop them. It's kind of fun. But here's this. Here's this. Oh my goodness. Here's the. We'll put this on the screen here. Oh, that is a delightful donation there. Hang on a second. Here, right here. Here's the. Let me fix that. So this is Moon is a cartoonist type person, does cute little artwork, and so this is our 800 episode show. This is some fantastic artwork. So there you go. Thank you very much, Moon, and also thank you, Chicago Mike, for sponsoring the show with a big. Oh my gosh, Chicago Mike. You are the new Streamlab Superstar sponsor of the day. Big 2669. And my favorite alert, which I'm going to play it again because I can't remember the girl's name. She's a hurdler or something from Australia. And she deserves her proper kudos. And thank you, Sydney, for the birthday wishes on Twitter. I greatly appreciate it. It's today, though. It's today. It's right now. My birthday is right now, Sydney. I appreciate that. All right. So back to what I was doing here. So that's but the people replying to this kind of cracked me up on this. Did I have one other thing on there? Let me see here. Let's see. What was this? Oh, Zelensky also. Where is it? What did I do with it? I could have sworn. Oh, here it is. Let me go back here, go to bookmarks, and let's see. There it is. Zelensky, he spoke at the Grammys. Now, I don't know how how this happened, but let's look at Zelensky's speech to the Grammys because this is interesting. All right. And BBC, the BBC, and I don't mean the kind that you find on the Christian Science Monitor. The BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, I guess that's what it's called. They said that Ukrainian President Zelensky made a powerful speech to the audience at the 2022 Grammy Awards. So this was last night, I believe. At the Grammy Awards, here is President Vladimir Zelensky. Here we go.
Our musicians wear body armor instead of tuxedos.
Well, I should hope that they're wearing body armor instead of tuxedos. It's just a weird way to put it, but anyway, here we go.
They sing to the wounded in hospitals, even to those who can't hear them, but the music will break through anyway. We defend our freedom to live, to love, to sound. On our land, we are fighting Russia, which brings horrible silence with its bombs, the dead silence. Feel the silence with your music. Feel it today to tell our story.
Okay, so that's just a little clip from the...
Our musicians wear body armor.
That's good. We heard it already. There we go. I'm good. So that was part of the speech by Zelensky. Master of green screens. I feel bad. Michelle Jedicke, yeah, that's her name. That's the hurdler's name from Australia. I guess I'm going to straight to hell. Thank you, Septive. Oh, I see some people. Thank you, Septive Wolf, for tweeting out the show, by the way. Appreciate you. All right, let's get into some other stuff because and here's we did already talk about did we already mention? Yes, we did mention Ketanji Brown Jackson, right? So anyway, Lindsey Graham's talking right now. Here's the live hearing right now. For anyone who cares about that, you can go check that out later. Anyway, now I want to get into some little education stuff because we're going to talk about education. Now, there's a poll apparently that says that a majority of Americans approve of Florida's quote, "Don't say gay" law, including 55% of Democrats. Oh my goodness. Now, this is the Breitbart version, but I'm going to show you the Wall Street Journal version instead. Maybe, if it lets me. Is it going to cut me off? Oh, it's going to cut me off. Well, let me see. Let's go back here a second. Give me a second, and I'll remedy that. I think I'm see if anyone's made an archive of this yet. Let's see if anyone's made an archive. Oh wait, I gotta copy and paste first though. Copy. Let me see if anyone's made an archive of this story yet, because I really, sometimes you just gotta do it for the lulls. Ah, yes, they have. So anyway, so the Wall Street Journal puts out this article yesterday. Don't say gay, quote unquote, is popular. Yeah, you don't say. That's what they wrote. I'm just reading what they wrote there. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis this weekend signed the education legislation his opponents have dubbed the Don't Say Gay law. It prohibits classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity from kindergarten through third grade, which means after third grade, you're allowed to talk about it, or you're allowed to teach it. It just says not before first grade. Now, some of you might go, well, who the hell is teaching that shit in kindergarten, first grade? We'll get to that. We will get to that. Because there was an interesting little part of Twitter this morning that I saw that, I didn't even have to put it together myself. I'm going to show you. We'll show you to you in a minute. So let's see. Polite opinion is almost unanimously against. But open your ears to the Vox Populi. When Americans are presented with the actual language of the new Florida law, it wins support by more than a 2-to-1 margin. That's from a new poll by Public Opinion Strategies. Overall, 61% of people said they support the Don't Say Gay law. Birthday for Apple. Hello, Scribe, my friend. And also, good morning to the gayest person on YouTube. Gayest person on YouTube, what do you think of the Don't Say Gay law? I'm just curious. Anyway. And are you truly the gayest person on YouTube? I've seen some pretty gay people on YouTube. I'm sorry. But I will allow you to make that claim on this show. So anyway, even more notable is the breadth, is in the width or the margin of that sentiment. Democratic voters in the poll support the law 55% to 29%. Among suburban voters, which could be a decisive group for the midterm elections, it's 60% to 30%. Parents, 67% to 24%. Biden voters, 53% to 30%, responded to know somebody who's LGBTQ, IAP plus eeny, miny, mo, 61% to 28%. Those figures might come back to shock Florida's progressive activists, including those who happen to work at the Disney company. Now, no poll is dispositive, and the surveys aren't unanimous. Ipsos asked America in mid-March if they agreed with barring classroom lessons about sexual orientation or gender identity in elementary school. It found 62% opposed. Perhaps the public has since learned more about the Florida law, or maybe people distinguished between kindergarten through third grade and elementary school, because they said elementary school in that poll. See, now, it always depends on how you word a poll. My title is only a contractual obligation, but in my opinion, you should only say gay if you intend to be homophobic with it. Okay. Well, there you go. That's okay. That throws me off a little bit here. I'm just not knowing what to think, but I got you. Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, I said gay in your name because you just as the gayest person on YouTube, so I guess I'm okay. All right. So Now, the way that Florida implements the legislation could change minds, but so far, polling is mixed at worst. The current narrative around this Don't Say Gay law, quote unquote, that it's needless cruelty to children inflicted by Republican troglodytes seems to be another example of how much the media and CEOs are out of touch with the public. Oh, really? You think? We should read the law, the actual wording of the law, like the whole thing. It's only 7 pages long. And it has everything. Anyway, Meantime, an Axios poll says that Mr. DeSantis' approval with Hispanics is up 7 points since December. So there you go. Well, way to go, Ron DeSantis. And the poll itself. Where's the poll? Where's the poll? Where's the poll? Here's the new poll. How many times can I say poll in this stream? Here's the actual poll from Public Opinion Strategies. Now, it's interesting because when Americans are presented with the actual language of the new Florida law, it wins support by more than 2-to-1 margin. So these are the key findings. And this is simple. That's it. You give them the actual language and they approve of it because it's a parents' rights bill. Look, I really, first of all, I don't know why it's necessary to teach kids kindergarten through third grade anything about that because, well, you know what I mean. I think y'all know. Real quick, let me come back here. Thank you, Tyler Alexander, for sponsoring the show. With a small bullet in the tip jar saying, "Oh, this isn't really a commercial. I'm just gonna do it without music. We'll do it. Let's do it. What's that? Who's that guy at the Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood? Mr. Rogers. Let's do it Mr. Rogers style. Well, no, I can't do it that way. Maybe we'll do it Pee Wee Herman style. No, we'll just read the damn chat. Thank you, Tyler Alexander, who says the word of the day is propaganda. It can demoralize, galvanize, and balkanize populations and people. Zelensky is begging the planet to save his hide while hiding in a spider hole somewhere in a NATO nation near you. Yes, I've been saying that I don't believe that I don't necessarily believe that Zelensky is spending all this time in Ukraine. Now, granted, they have pictures of him going around. What's that town called that they did the Bucha or Bucha? I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but they spelled Bucha. So there's obviously pictures of him going around, but I don't think he's necessarily staying in Kyiv either. I think he's hiding safely somewhere, and then he has this little studio where he does his green screen dresses and stuff. And they do helicopter him in and out of safe places, which is proper. And I fully support them protecting him. I don't want to make it sound like he should be in the middle of the war zone or anything, but I don't know who to believe anymore. But anyway, so on the don't say gay thing, let me do the stories first, and then I'll show you what popped up on Twitter. This is pure classic Twitter karma, or I don't know, Simpson. So not everybody is happy about the don't say gay bill. GOP in name only. Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland called Florida's parental rights bill absurd. Now, really absurd, he calls it. Republican Maryland Governor Larry Hogan called Florida's newly passed parental rights legislation, quote, absurd, end quote, during a Sunday interview on CNN's State of the Union. Now, Larry Hogan's one of these guys who likes to make sure he's in good with all the media, and he wants to just be liked instead of just saying, shit that makes sense, because he doesn't want to offend the media, even though the media hates him because of the letter after his name. But Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed the Parentals Rights in Education law on Monday, which prohibits instruction surrounding sexual orientation and gender identity. Note, instruction. Didn't say you can't answer questions, just instructions. Maryland governor looks like a rhino pedophile. Yes, he does. It requires school district. And gender identity in K through 3 classrooms. 9 years old and younger. At 10 o'clock, you can start teaching them. But at 9-year-olds and younger, you can have no instruction, classroom presentation, instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity. Okay? And requires school to notify parents about any changes to their child's physical, mental and emotional health, except in the cases of child abuse. So that means they can't help your kid transition they can't without letting your parents know. The parents are allowed to know what's happening with their children's mental, physical, and emotional health. It requires them to notify parents. Really newly adds the ability of parents to bring teachers and schools to court. Okay. And so there you go. Now, thank you for that tidbit, Data Wasteland. That helps. And then here's Hogan. The whole thing seemed. Oh, here we go. Let's listen. Let's listen to him. Oh, no, there's gonna be an ad. Yeah, shut up. Jesus, I don't need that. Come on. Oh, skip ad. There we go. Here. No. What is this crap? Largest Bitcoin event in history. April 2nd. I don't care. And
your fellow Republican governor, DeSantis in Florida, he suggested that he will retaliate against Disney after it criticized Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill, which bans certain instruction about sexual orientation and gender identity in the classroom. What's your reaction to that? And then more broadly, what do you make of that legislation?
Okay. This doesn't seem to be the question that he's being asked. I want to hear this question again. I'm sorry to be going backwards.
Your fellow Republican governor, DeSantis in Florida, he suggested that he will retaliate against Disney.
Oh, that's her words. He suggested he'll retaliate against Disney. I get it. Not that they haven't been arresting people who've had interesting sexual proclivities at Disney. But anyway, they have a lot of employees, so that can happen. But still, they have 4 recently.
After it criticized Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill, which bans certain instruction about sexual orientation and gender identity in the classroom.
Oh, now see, there she goes again. Notice how she says it. And when anyone, you get the Ron Perlman's award. We never did show you Ron Perlman. You saw Ron Perlman, right? She never did get to that, because when she says that, notice she says, well, here, you got to hear her words again, because she uses words that aren't accurate.
Bill, which bans certain instruction about sexual orientation and gender identity in the classroom.
In kindergarten through 3rd grade. And then age appropriate from then on. I'm sorry. It doesn't. And that's why people don't know what this is. You can't teach sexual orientation, gender identity in the classroom. That's very different. That's very different than in 1st through 3rd grade, or kindergarten through 1st, 3rd grade classrooms. But anyway.
What's your reaction to that? And then more broadly, what do you make of that legislation?
Well, I didn't really actually see the details of the legislation, but the whole...
Oh, then what? That's not a good start, Larry Hogan. That's not a good start. Now, let's see. I didn't see details of the legislation. Now, let's see how he follows that up in this answer. I didn't even see this part. I read it, but I didn't see the answer. I didn't see details of the legislation.
The whole thing seems like just a crazy fight. I'm not sure. It concerns me. DeSantis is always talking about he was not demanding that businesses do things, but he was telling the cruise lines what they had to do. He was telling local schools what they're mandating, and now he wants to criticize Disney for expressing how they feel about that bill. I mean, they have every right to it. We have a thing called freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they do. And he's criticizing them. That's her word, is retaliate. I don't know if he said he's going to retaliate or not.
Out and say what they think. I think the bill was kind of absurd.
The bill was kind of absurd. Wait a minute. The bill was kind of absurd.
DeSantis is always talking.
Whoops, wait a minute. Hang on, let's get to Larry Hogan. What? The bill was kind of absurd.
You make of that legislation?
Well, I
The law,
I didn't really actually see the details of the legislation, but the whole I didn't really actually see the details of the legislation, but
that legislation.
Well, I didn't
really
actually see the details of the legislation, but the whole happened in our state. The bill was kind of absurd, and a thing called freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can come out and say what they think. I think the bill was kind of absurd. Say what they think. I think the bill was kind of absurd.
If you didn't see the details of the legislation, how do you know that the legislation was absurd?
And not something that would have happened in our state.
Well, because your state is mostly very blue, other than you, Larry Hogan.
Hey, no.
So anyway, the bill he didn't read is absurd. Now, let me show you how I found that. I'm going to show you how I found that clip because it was fascinating, and this is just how Twitter kind of works sometimes. And so this is great. Here is let me just put this picture up here because this is going to show you how I found this clip. Okay. Now, The Hill put an article out called Maryland Governor Larry Hogan said Florida's parental rights in education bill, which critics have referred to as the Don't Say Gay bill, is absurd. That's their tweet printing out the article that they put on the internet. Okay. Now, let me show you how I found that tweet. It just so happens that there's a series of tweets that you should see that were in order on my Twitter feed. Okay, let me find the picture, just a second. There we go. And it's on the screen. This top tweet says, this is from someone named Mr. Potato Head. A teacher named Justine Font taught first graders via a cartoon about how it feels good when they touch their clitoris and penis. In my opinion, she should have to register as a sex offender. This is worse than woke. Wait a minute. What? Teacher, don't harass this person, please, named Justine Font, taught first graders via a cartoon about how it feels good when they touch their clitoris and penis. Fan-fucking-tastic, which this guy also did this Mark Twain. Sometimes too much to drink is barely enough. And then right below that, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan said Florida's parental rights and education bill, which critics have referred to as the Don't Say Gay bill, is absurd. The legislation he did not read. Good morning, what's her name? He did not read. And also, good morning, Asia Research Director. How about that? They are against freedom of speech. Well, no. Anyway, so now the juxtaposition of these three tweets at 6:11 this morning when I saw this, when I was at work, because I sometimes have Twitter open while I'm at work because I get bored sometimes. The juxtaposition, and then it said parent of elite school angry masturbation videos shown to children. They showed masturbation videos to first graders. First graders. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with masturbation. I think masturbation is king, but I don't know if you necessarily need to be talking about it to first graders who, you know what I'm saying. I think you know what I'm trying to say there. Anyway, so so I found that. Yeah, here it is. Here's that tweet. A teacher named Justine Font taught first graders via cartoon about how it feels good when they touch their clitoris or penis. In my opinion, she should have been registered as a sex offender. This is worse than woke. It's a pedophilic. Parents at the elite school angry masturbation videos shown to children. So they were showing okay, who the fuck thought of making cartoons about masturbation for first graders in the first place? Oh my God.
Gotcha, bitch.
Anyway, oh my God. So there you go. Is that all my education segment today? No, I think there's more, but hang on a second. I want to see what this message is. Hopefully that's from Sydney. I got that one. Okay, good. Oh, is that this one? Okay, that was that one. Okay, and again, thank you, Sydney, for the happy birthday wishes. And more notifications. Mike Savage, thank you. And Angry CDN, thanks for retweeting. Oh, that's something else. Oh. Yeah, so yes, Larry Hogan, it is it's absolutely absurd. Parents should have no say in what? Anyway, all right. Eat that teacher into the sun. Yes. Yeah, I can't understand. Good morning, Rockhopper. What's happening, brother? Yeah. And good morning, Tyler F. and Streets of the Mail. So, let's move this over out here because I may not get to that, but I do want to get to this. So this is a little article, The American Mind, and I just found it interesting, and it was, make sure I get it on the screen correctly. Let me see if this goes up. There we go. So, and I somewhat concur with this. Make them say it. Make them say it out loud. In fact, I got a feeling. Woo-hoo. Yeah, that teacher needs to insult Jada Pinkett Smith because the Will Smith solution might be in order. Anyway, make them say it. This is an article about how conservatives need to force radical educators into being honest about their perverse aims. And maybe, this is all born of the pandemic. I got to tell you, we can blame the pandemic on everything. But this is maybe one good aspect of the pandemic is that parents have begun seeing some of the bullshit that is being taught to their children in classrooms because they got to watch it while they're being educated at home. A line has been drawn in the sand. On one side are radicals shoving leftist dogma down the throats of their pupils. On the other side are parents and patriots fighting to save the children and America. The pro-America side. Now, this is obviously a very one-sided piece, but I'm still going to read it. Hello, Keith. Thank you. Happy birthday. And thank you for the happy birthday song, Keith. And that was awesome. The pro-America side is gaining steam and adherence, and the opposition is noticing, which means now is not the time to lose nerve. It's time to double down. COVID shutdowns gave parents a front row seat to the blatant racial and sexual indoctrination their children had been exposed to for the past few years. When they raised concerns, parents were told CRT is only taught at the university level. They were told their kids were only being taught to be kind and tolerant to others of different views or sexual preferences, but they could see with their own eyes that was a lie. Now there are books in schools so explicit you could be arrested and charged with a felony if you gave them to a minor. Yeah, literally cartoons of people giving blowjobs to each other. I'm serious. You've probably seen those, anyway. But thanks to an exemption in the law, schools in 43 states get away with teaching this material. Groups began to organize and show up at school board meetings to protest. They were called terrorists, using the powerful tactic of simply reading the books in question to the members and forcing them to confront their own agenda. There is a key lesson here. To win the fight, we have to force the radicals to confront and admit what they're really up to. Like this lady. I'm still just, they have a cartoon about masturbation for first graders. Okay. Anyway, when you do that long enough, they stop lying and start attacking you. Eventually, the school board radicals switch from, that's not happening, to, it's good that it is. The new strategy has been to call parents racist.
That's racist!
And oppressive and out-of-touch terrorists. We all know this game. Once the opposition is backed into a corner with facts, they call names. Our response should be simple. Ignore the labels and keep charging forward. Nowhere have the ideologies shown their true colors more clearly than in Florida, in response to a bill banning inappropriate classroom discussion on gender identity and sexual orientation for children in kindergarten through third grade, 9 years old and younger. The real content of the bill should be perfectly acceptable to any adult who does not want children sexualized, but that did not stop the opposition from mounting the totally dishonest "Don't Say Gay" campaign. The lawmakers and teachers who participated in the campaign pretended that the bill made it illegal to discuss homosexuality at any grade level or in any context. It was an attempt to position themselves as the good guys, otherwise known as straw manning, the good guys, by obscuring what they were really advocating. But in plain terms, they were fighting for the right to teach transgender ideology to 5, 6, 7, and 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds, because some third graders turn 9 in third grade. And to win on this, we have to make clear what our opponents really want. Florida is leading the way as a voice for parents, providing a roadmap to navigate this monstrosity. Now, and again, it's like they can't wait till they're 10 years old to start learning that stuff. You know, like when it becomes at least a little more relevant, when there's some kids who may, discover as they go through puberty that they might be attracted to something else, whatever. I mean, what's the point? What is the point? Great, now Hollow Notes is stuck in my head. I'm not sure why. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis repeatedly forced reporters to admit what was really in the bill, and he held fast when powerful players tried to get him to blink. For example, Disney CEO Bob Chapek called DeSantis to declare he would be signing the Human Rights Campaign's statement opposing the bill. Now, HRC is the creator of, quote, Welcoming Schools, end quote, a professional development program which provides training and resources to elementary school educators. One training resource they provide is a document explaining how to discuss gender identity and sexual orientation with kids in kindergarten through third grade. Oh, well, we can't show their document in Florida now. The document has a section labeled Who You Love, with definitions for bisexual, heterosexual, gay, lesbian, and pansexual. Why? Why do kindergartners need to know any of that shit? I can see once they start having sexual feelings, they might want to. I'm even skeptical of why it needs to be taught beyond that, because they're gonna discover Tumblr someday. But anyway, is Tumblr still around? Does that website even still run? I don't even know. Anyway. The document has a section labeled Who You Love, blah, 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 blah. The section labeled Gender defines gender expansive, gender expression, gender binary, and sex assigned at birth. Okay, hold on. Let me just stop right there. Sex is not assigned at birth. It is not. And even by their definitions, sex is not assigned at birth. Sex is observed at birth. Now, they might say that gender was assigned at birth because they don't believe gender and sex are the same thing. What the fuck is a pansexual? Is that like some cookie fetish? No. A pansexual is a person, their definition, I studied this a little bit, their definition of pansexual is a pansexual has nothing to do with pans. A pansexual is someone, basically, a pansexual is someone who will have sex with anyone regardless of their gender, including whether they're transgender, non-binary, gender fluid, gender this and gender that. Any kind of someone who has sex with any gender of the gender list, which basically they'll fuck anybody. That's kind of that's the way you can describe it, I guess. For some reason, there's gay and lesbian, straight, bisexual, right? That's where the lines were drawn, right? But apparently pansexuals will distinguish between women and transgender women. So if you're a pansexual, you are clearly transphobic, because anyone else would say trans women are women. But apparently when you say, because wouldn't a trans woman attracted to women be a lesbian? Oh, but the pansexual somehow, see, that's just it. That's what I would say. Okay, now I'll get to this. Chicago Mike, I'll do yours first. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Are pansexual and bi, aren't they the same? Well, why isn't that working? Oh, there you go. Aren't pansexual and bi, aren't they the same? Well, no. Not when you, not when you start getting into the multiple sexual proclivities of human beings, according to this new ideology, because for some reason they distinguish between all of them. Because I don't know, apparently lesbians will not have sex with a non-binary person. Or maybe a trans woman. Some lesbians won't have sex with a trans woman. But if trans women are women, then wouldn't a trans woman having sex with one other woman be a lesbian? It's very confusing. And they get their shit mixed up all the time, but because they have no definitions that actually stick, that have an actual reason for the definition. In fact, they have all these definitions, but they can't define what a woman is. I'm confused, and that's just me, okay? Maybe someone smarter than me in these particular ideology can explain to me. Also, thank you to, a sponsor. BBC Rentals is sponsoring the show. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Due to your advanced age and ongoing lower back issues, BBC Rentals regrets to inform you that your membership has been revoked. Happy birthday, old timer. BBC Rentals. Unless you're a racist. Okay, thank you, BBC Rentals. And I'm not that old, but BBC, that's exaggerating just a little bit. Anyway, at least in the Christian Science Monitor sense of the BBC Rentals. Anyway, thank you for sponsoring the show, Chicago Mike and BBC Rentals. Moving on. So yeah, that's just it. Bisexual, pansexual. What's the fucking difference? Well, pansexual just takes it further. They'll fuck anybody. Just saying. All right, let's get back to this. So, let's see. This is sex label, gender defines blah 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 blah. Welcoming Schools also has a resource titled "Who Can Marry Whom?" Inclusive Conversations about Marriage, which states, "It is our job as educators to talk about diverse families and relationships with elementary students and provide them with mirrors of their own lives so they can develop healthy identities, as well as provide windows into other lives so that they can become global citizens who embrace differences. It's important to teach your students about many different kinds of families, whether those particular families are present in your school or not." Do you have to have a class on that? I mean, can we just learn to read first, and then about fourth grade we can start talking about that? And if kids ask about it, you go, "Oh yeah, they have two dads. They just do." And you'll learn about that in fourth grade, because that's all. It is to DeSantis' enormous credit that he saw through this intimidation campaign and held fast the truth of who these people really are. He signed the bill. That's one of my favorite. I like that one too. Thank you, Tex AG. Happy birthday, my friend. Hope all is well. And the first of many with your new granddaughter. Hell yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate the 20 spot. That's fantastic. And I appreciate your continued support. Thank you very much. And welcome to the show. I didn't know I said hi to you yet. It is to DeSantis' enormous credit that, I did. It's to DeSantis' enormous credit that he saw through this intimidation campaign and held fast to the truth of who these people really are. He signed the bill, even despite a nationwide smear campaign and major industry leaders trying to jawbone him. Not every red state governor has been so bold, but we ought to demand that they follow DeSantis' lead. or make way for others who can. Of course, it's not just about sex ed. Racial indoctrination carries on at pace in public schools across the country. Many states have passed or introduced legislation banning CRT from being taught in public schools. Unfortunately, the bills are falling short of stopping the Marxist brainwashing from taking over the system. The machinery of indoctrination is too subtle and carefully constructed to vanish overnight. Conservatives need to understand that the fight goes beyond CRT. That means it's important for ordinary parents to be equipped with the right terminology so that they can see past the left's euphemisms to the horrors beneath. One of the biggest menaces to American children in public and some private schools is called social emotional learning, also known as SEL. And if you haven't heard of this one, here it is. Social emotional learning is explained by administrators and teachers as a way to teach children empathy, manage emotions, and build healthy relationships. The innocuous language of SEL disguised the real agenda for a long time. In fact, it means eschewing facts and academics in favor of ritualized induction into new social norms. Reading, writing, and arithmetic have been replaced with activism lessons, pornographic literature, and gender and sexuality clubs. Children labeled human subjects are now part of a massive government experiment to manufacture social justice warriors. Unfortunately, in 2022, SEL is gripping our entire educational system. It's even pushing its way into children's homes and communities. If CRT is the ideology and DEI is the marketing slogan, SEL is the delivery system. Extremist views that have saturated the education system are corrupting our children. This is what our founding fathers warned about. We can no longer look the other way and hope someone else will do something about it. It's our time to fight for what is right. To party! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And America, the American mind, still depends on it. So that was a good article. And that will be in the link in the description down below. How much time? Oh, I've got about 15 minutes left. Good. By the way, I am going to stream again this afternoon with part 2 of the birthday stream, which is going to be an open mic stream, and we'll just talk about whatever anyone wants to talk about, but we'll see how it goes. And then finally, on Education Day, I've decided to make an Education Day out of this. Let's see, this one here. Hang on a moment. Oh yeah, I guess it's all education today because I'm not going to get to that last one. So in some education news, apparently there was a school nurse who was suspended for a Facebook post in which she questioned why 11-year-olds were on puberty blockers. This 77-year-old nurse was dismissed for being transphobic. A school nurse in Hartford, Connecticut was suspended over a, quote, transphobic, end quote, Facebook post in which she questioned why 11-year-old children were on puberty blockers. 77-year-old Kathleen Cataford, who works at Richard J. Kinsella Magnet School, posted in a mom's Facebook group that there was an 11-year-old at the school on puberty blockers and 12 other students identifying as non-binary. Investigate the school curriculums. Connecticut is very socially liberal, gender-confused state, she wrote. As a public school nurse, I have an 11-year-old female student on puberty blockers and a dozen identifying as a non-binary, all but 2 keeping this as a secret from their parents. Oh, wait. Now, let's think about that Florida bill. The school is allowing these people to hide something that has to do with their physical, mental, or emotional health from the parents. The Florida bill would require them to notify the parents on this. But see, here's the thing. It becomes a very... teachers love it because they will give these students attention, love, and affection, and extras, kudos, and gold stars for being them real selves. Oh, wow, there's no incentive to be just like that other kid who's getting all the attention, is there? Attention-seeking behavior. Encouraging it for some shit like this. Unbelievable. Teachers and SSW, which I'm not sure what that stands for. Anyone know what SSW stand for? Anyway, teachers and SSW are spending 37.5 hours a week influencing our children, not necessarily teaching our children what you think is being taught. Children are introduced to this confusion in kindergarten by the school social worker. Okay, social workers, who teaches social and emotional regulation and school expectations. Oh, is that? What was that they called that? And so SEL, that's kind of part of SEL, isn't it? Isn't that what that's about? The nurse went on to question why, given the young people's brains aren't even fully developed until their early 20s, are they allowed to take puberty blocker drugs to be put through gender mutilating surgery? That's a good question. And here's their post. Buyer be aware. Buyer beware. Investigate the school system curriculum. Okay, this is the whole thing. So that's her post. Now, for this transphobic thought crime, Catterford was reported by a parent to the school board, which responded by immediately suspending her pending an investigation, after which she could be fired. Hartford Public Schools strives to provide an inclusive environment where all students feel seen, valued, respected, and heard. Really? I think kids could be seen and not heard. Superintendent Dr. Leslie Torres Rodriguez said in a statement, "We as a school district are responsible for the health, well-being, and social and emotional development and safety of all of the children entrusted in our care." Really? But did their parents know about their health, well-being, social and emotional development? Should the parents know about this? Do all their parents know about this? Because they weren't telling the parents. Apparently, health, well-being, and emotional development now means encouraging kids whose brains have been scrambled by demented far-left gender ideology and social engineering to be put on drugs that literally prevent the natural development of their body and brain. Is it any wonder why more Americans, aside from financial concerns, are choosing not to have children, given this is what they're faced with? And remember, the alphabet people just want your kids to be able to have a conversation about their feelings. Pray for Kathleen Catterford. She just asked some questions, and she didn't do it at the school. She's not talking to the kids. Oh, but one of the parents are like, "Oh no, we'll have none of that questioning anything." Bitches. All right, and a couple more, and we'll get out of here. Restoring but hey, MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Well, some news from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They're going to reinstate standardized testing and make admissions merit-based again. I wonder why they're doing that. How long is this article? This is a short article. Let's find out. Let's find out why. Were they getting some students that weren't quite prepared to be at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a major Ivy League school? This week, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology announced that it would once again require applicants to take standardized tests. Our ability to accurately predict student academic success at MIT is significantly improved by considering standardized testing, wrote the university's Dean of Admissions, Stu Schmill. Parents and alumni largely hailed the decision. Hey! Sanity, it seems, might be coming back. MIT needs the test to remain MIT. Progressive critics of standardized testing say that a merit-based focus comes at the expense of diversity and equity and inclusion. When you hear the word equity, run away. And they question the predictive value and objectivity of the test. But the weight of the evidence shows, whatever that link is, shows that the test indeed measure what they set out to measure. What is that? What do they have there? Oh, I'll put the article on standardized test next to it. MIC's decision cuts against recent trends. In 2020, the regents at the University of California system banned standardized testing for admission, overriding a faculty committee that had been convened on the issue. After a year-long study, the faculty observed that standardized test scores better predicted academic success at the University of California than did high school grade point average, especially for underrepresented minority students. You help minority students who are underrepresented with standardized testing, placing them in places where they should be. But no, that's racist! What the hell?
That's racist!
Yes.
Resist we much.
Further, the report found rising grade inflation meant that standardized test scores were gaining in predictive power while high school GPA was losing predictive power because they're just passing kids through shit. They don't even care about grades anymore. Everyone's got to feel good, so everyone gets an A and a B because we don't want poor little Johnny to feel like he's lesser than Bobby or Ramal or whatever. So we'll just give them all good grades. Well, their GPA is losing predictive power because of it. Everyone, you get an A, and you get an A, and you get an A. Well, the colleges are like, how did this kid have a 3.8 and he can barely read? Oh, well, that's what the standardized test helped to predict. Let's see. Without standardized test scores for balance, GPA risk degenerating into a meaningless metric. But politics won the day for the University of California regents. During the pandemic, other top schools such as Harvard, who let in that moron David Hogg, decided to allow but not require applicants to submit test scores for consideration. You know what's funny about that? Like his SAT, it was like a 1240, right? And the average Harvard SAT is like 1420. They let him in anyway because his activist brain is going to be really good for Harvard. Anyway, the move ignores the advice of cognitive scientist Steven Pinker, fascist, who in a 2014 article argued that Harvard, his employer, should admit students by standardized test scores only. Oh, that's bold. Because the other typical factors in multi-criteria or holistic admissions add only advantages unrelated to merit. By contrast, the SAT predicts more than just classroom success. We've already seen that test scores, as far up the upper tail as you can go, predict a vast range of intellectual, practical, and artistic accomplishments, Pinker wrote. Top U.S. universities may soon have to revisit their admission strategy. However, the Supreme Court is set to decide this summer whether Harvard and the University of North Carolina are engaged in illegal racial discrimination. Yeah, they don't want no more Asians. Hello, Nomad.
Stop. Hammer time.
Yeah, they're biased against Asians. Isn't that crazy? They're minorities, but they're the good minorities that are more like white people. So they're just tangentially white people, and they need to have more people of color that aren't Asians at Harvard. Excuse me. Where was I? At these schools, white and Asian applicants with grades, extracurriculars, and teacher recommendations comparable to those of Black and Hispanic applicants must score hundreds of points higher on the SAT to achieve the same admissions odds. I think that's racist. Standardized tests are among the fairest assessment methods available. They not only predict academic talent across economic levels, but also counter the mischief that holistic admissions allow. Students can use holistic admissions to justify double standards on an individual level or a wider range of biases against certain groups. As the University of California Berkeley sociologist Jerome Crybullies shows, here, I'll just leave that, I'll link that one too. In his research at Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, holistic admissions were designed early in the 20th century to limit the number of Jews at colleges. Oh!
Gotcha, bitch.
That's what they're doing. Later on, the group targeted became Asian students, like they're doing now. Standardized testing, with their emphasis on an objective measure, can be a tool for upward mobility. With holistic admissions, by contrast, wealthier families can shift their resources from test preparation, which even the poorest families can pursue through public libraries, to purchasing edifying experiences such as arts, athletics, summer programs, and unpaid internships. They can also purchase services such as interview coaching and essay editing. These experiences and polished writing samples look good on applications, but they further punish those applicants who are qualified but lack such advantages. Great inflation, too, benefits the wealthy. The Fordham Institute recently found that the phenomenon worsened in schools attended by affluent students more than those attended by lower income pupils. So this is an example of dare I say it? Well, I can't. It's okay. I'm just being funny here, but this is an example of reverse racism. Oh wait, I'm just sorry. Just racism in a different direction. Okay, thank you, Neutrino. Appreciate it and welcome to the show. If you're not subscribed, if you're anyone here who's not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and click the bell thingy so that you get notifications and shit. Or just follow me on. Oh, you can't see me. It's up there. At Dawg Knight on various social media. Anyway, what else is this? So without standardized tests, American universities will confront obvious and difficult selection problems. MIT has decided on a better way. MIT has decided on a better way. All right. And finally, what's the last one here? Here's The Chosen. This is a book called The Chosen, The Hidden History of Admission and Exclusion at Harvard, Yale, and Princeton. It's a paperback. You can get it for $21.99 on paperback. I wonder how much you can get it on just, is it available on like, what's the reading book, the book thing? What do they call it? What's that thing, the tablet thing or whatever? You can read books on your tablets and shit. Anyway. All right, they're going back to sleep. Who's going back to sleep? I don't know. Anyway, let's finish this up with this one. The cancel culture at Princeton, and we'll come back later this afternoon with other stuff. So I just saw this article in the American Thinker, and I thought this was pretty good too. Princeton University library collections are among the most valuable in the world, with their holdings of 7 million printed works and 5 million manuscripts and diverse objects. Those holdings continually grow with additions of print and digital, non-print, and manuscripts through acquisition or gifts. The library has been generous in its displays and educational and organizing exhibits. The current exhibit on display is titled Through a Glass Darkly, Alchemy and the Ripley Scrolls 1400 to 1700. It is therefore stunning that Princeton, in an unaccustomed example of wokery, also known as fuckery, thank you, Nomad, for the happy birthday wishes, surrendered to cancel culture and the rewriting of history in canceling an exhibition due to be opened in April 2022. The exhibition, of which the main donor was Leonard Milberg, Jewish financial manager and generous donor to the university, whose name is on the gallery where the exhibit was to be held, was to display Jewish American artists in the late 19th century and included 2 who were soldiers in the Confederate Army, Moses Jacob Ezekiel and Theodore Moishe. The exhibition, to feature American Jewish artists in the Gilded Age, 1865 to 1900, was planned to coincide with the publication of Milberg's book, Yearning to be Free, the title referring to a line in Emma Lazarus' 1883 sonnet, The New Colossus, which appears at the base of the Statue of Liberty. The cancellation of the planned exhibition is an irony. The exhibition that was meant to remedy an erasure of American art history is now being erased. Where's that sign? The cancellation has dishonored Princeton's own principle to present and explain materials in a manner consistent with the library's educational and research mission. The exhibit would have expanded research by helping to restore American art history, the presence of Jewish American artists active in the U.S. in the 19th century, such as Henry Mosler. While renowned contemporary Jewish American scholars like Larry Silver, Matthew Beigel, and Barbara Gilbert and Samantha Baskin have documented Jewish American artists of the 19th century, there is little mention of these artists in the mainstream American art history books. The exhibition would have helped fill the gap of the presence and activity of these neglected artists and marginalized community. The centerpiece of proposing the exhibition contained 50 objects. The centerpiece of the proposed exhibition containing 50 objects was a marble sculpture by Ezekiel of a boy holding a flaming lamp in one hand while he raises the other hand to the heavens. Moses Jacob Ezekiel, 1844 to 1917, born in Richmond, Virginia, part Ashkenazi and part Sephardic, was the first important American Jewish sculptor. Ezekiel also believed in states' rights and enrolled in 1862 at the Virginia Military Institute, the first Jew to do so. During the Civil War, while still only age 20, he aided Confederate General John C. Breckinridge, joining the cadets in charge against the Union lines in May 1864, at the Battle of New Market, Virginia, where the Confederates defeated the Union Army. Thus, Ezekiel can be evaluated in two ways: a proud Southerner who always kept a Confederate flag in his studio, and an observant Jew who at the age of 13 produced a bust of Cain. Ezekiel won a prize that allowed him to live in Rome, where he remained for more than 40 years, yet his most important sculptures were for the U.S. His allegorical marble sculpture of religious liberty, a single block of Carrara marble, was commissioned by the Independent Order of B'nai B'rith in 1876 to honor the U.S. centennial independence, the 100-year anniversary of the country. The work is an 8-foot-tall woman reflecting liberty, projecting religious freedoms, wearing a liberty cap bordered by 13 stars and holding the U.S. Constitution. The sculpture stands outside the National Museum of American Jewish History in Philadelphia near the Liberty Bell. Ezekiel, a prolific sculptor of religious, Southern, and Confederate themes, made no secret of his Confederate activities. As a result, the United Daughters of the Confederacy asked him to execute a memorial honoring the Confederate dead at Arlington National Cemetery. He produced in 1914 a Baroque statue illustrating Southern heroism. The woman in the memorial representing the South appears to be protecting black figures, but critics see it as propaganda for the lost cause, rewriting history. After his death, Ezekiel was largely forgotten, largely because his artistic style was one of emulation of the great past masters, not one of innovation. Shame on Princeton, which wants him to remain forgotten. The second canceled artist by Princeton is Theodore Sidney Moise, 1808 to 1883, who was born in Charleston, South Carolina, a portrait painter, a skilled horse painter. I didn't know you could paint horses. That's kind of weird. Working in neoclassical style, he maintained a studio in New Orleans, His painting of General Andrew Jackson on horseback in 1815, City Hall, New Orleans, won a prize. He continued with paintings of distinguished citizens of New Orleans, containing many portraits of judges and members of volunteer fire brigade in the courthouse of New Orleans. During the Civil War, Moise was a major in the Confederate Army and participated in the defense of lower Mississippi by helping employ floating fire rafts to repel the federal fleet. Leonard Milberg was naturally disappointed at the cancellation of the art exhibit. He funded 11 previous exhibitions at the Princeton Art Museum and Princeton Firestone Library and donated 10 collections to the university. Among them was a show in 2016 by Dawn's Early Light devoted to Jewish contributions to American culture from the nation's founding to the Civil War. Another ironic factor in view of the cancellation is that one of Milberg's contributions to the Princeton Library was an exhibit of his Irish prose collection. This included a number of letters and works by Irish writer Francis Stewart, who was a Nazi sympathizer and who spent World War II in Berlin, where he made anti-Semitic broadcasts. In addition, part of Milberg's collection, which was exhibited, were other anti-Semites, Tom Paulin and Oliver St. John Gogarty, who was a character in James Joyce's Ulysses. At this point, it is still not completely clear who first raised the problem and suggested the cancellations of the exhibition. Apparently, a Princeton official for diversity was distributed by the Confederate links of the two artists, but it seems ultimately to have been canceled by Milberg because of the proposed censorship of the artist. It is intellectually dishonest to remove the artist with Confederate ties and rewrite art history. The ghost of cancel culture should not haunt Princeton. Princeton University itself listed its official policy that gifts to the university and library must respect the university's fundamental commitment to academic freedom and the rigorous independent pursuit of truth. Leonard Milberg was right to assert that the exhibition was serving an educational purpose and that it was groundbreaking in featuring works of underrepresented period of Jewish American history and to bring back a lost part of American history. So, I got to tell you, I suppose I'd have to say FTG to Princeton, and look, not everything in our history is neat and clean. We have some shit that is just a fact. But when you're talking about art, you can still display art, great art, that were by shitty people. If they were shitty people, or was this just a man caught up where he lived and where he was from and what he was trying to fight for, whatever he was fighting for. But to hide certain elements because of the past doesn't help you not make those mistakes. It just hides it until somebody else goes, have we tried this shit before? Because you might have to try this shit. And you go, no, see, that guy tried that shit. And we know what happens when you try that shit. But if you hide the past and someone else thinks of that stupid shit that you don't want them to know because they didn't learn it from the past, then you get the same old shit. Does that make sense? I don't know. But on that note, if you haven't done so, I think you should hit the like button right now if you haven't already done it, because that's what we do around here. We like the show. And then we also share the stream before, during, and after the stream. And then we also, if people who watch the show but aren't watching it during the live part, they put comments in the comment section. Then I just click the little thing that I know that they acknowledge they were there, and sometimes I comment in the comment section to people. And then sometimes people throw money at me, and I don't know why. Maybe they're entertained. Maybe this is, maybe I'm just a good person and I appreciate it. Plus, it's my birthday, so, that's a good reason. But I appreciate that, and it helps me, pay for all the stuff that I put together here. So that's good. And I appreciate every single one of you people that do that. So, and then maybe, I forgot about this one. Maybe if you see a notification this afternoon, you might even come back again and say, hey, what's he going to talk about this time? And then I'll talk about something else. So thank you so much for those who are here, those who have been here, those who are watching later, and those of you who sponsor the show. Thank you to, who were to start today? Tazzy, Snoopy, Cryptic, John Arnold, Chicago Mike, Ty Alexander, BBC Rentals, and Tex AG. You are all fantastic people. Thank you for sponsoring the show. And thanks for all of you who participate in the chat. It's always fun. And so we'll be doing this again this afternoon. I don't have an exact time. Just depends on what time I get back from going and getting my new driver's license, or if I have to renew my driver's license this year, so I got to do that. But which means it may not be until 8 o'clock at night. No, I'm just kidding. Our little driver station here is not that busy on Mondays. Oh, but it is the early week of April. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Happy birthday, Straight Sith Male, my twin from another mother. And you all have a fantastic day. Hope to see you this afternoon. Otherwise, I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, and 2 p.m. 3 p.m., 2 p.m. GMT, I don't know, 10 o'clock Eastern. Everyone knows how to calculate from Eastern time, so, because, that's how it just works. So, y'all, thank you so much for being here. It's time for me to go. My name is P. Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P. Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P. Dawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P. Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.